Yo, yo, we tapping in live from the studio, Johnny Live, and we're finishing up for the day. We got a video that we got to produce. It's gonna be dope, y'all. It's gonna be a really nice video. Y'all have to check it out. We're doing some big things down here at the studio. Y'all gotta check it out. Give me 1 second and let me get my video set up. Yeah, this P Diddy thing is just it's hitting everybody by surprise, I think, and it's crazy. It really is crazy. I think this is going to be something for the books. Let me see here. This P Diddy thing is just hitting. Yeah, so it's as you guys already know, they raided P Diddy's house, and it's just not looking good for P Diddy. But that's not what we came here for. We came here to talk about the violence in our city. Just recently, we had a string of violence here in our city. Give me 1 second. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Okay, so just recent, excuse me, just recently we had some violence here in our city, and I don't want to go into the violence particularly. I know it was a couple of stabbings, a couple of shootings, and things like that, but it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate for everybody, for the families and everybody involved. You know, my heart goes out to the people who didn't make it. Also, my prayers go out to the people who survived that but were hurt in the violence that just took place recently here in the city. Unfortunately, I don't think that it's going to get any better. In fact, I think it's going to get worse. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, for one, violence always upticks when it gets warmer outside, especially for Black folks. For some reason, it's always been like that. When it gets hot outside, the violence uptick. I don't know if we get aggravated just being outside more, being around people. Because when it's cold, we tucked away sometimes. We tuck away in the house and we're not around people as much. But when it gets warmer outside, we all come outside, we're around people more, and maybe we're just aggravated by being around people or whatever the reason is. But it hasn't really gotten warm, hot yet. And you already see the uptick in violence. There's a saying that says when ice creams, no, it's not a saying, it's a I can't even say it, statistic. It says that when ice cream sales go up, so does violence. Meaning ice cream sales go up when it gets what? Warmer. Crime goes up when it gets warmer. Now the two are not necessarily the two don't, it's not meaning one happens because the other one happens. Not saying that, but for whatever reason, these things happen at the same time. When ice cream is getting sold, more ice cream is getting sold because it's hotter. Crime is getting sold because it's hot outside. So this crazy. This is something crazy I just think about. But yeah, y'all, it's only gonna get worse. And I always wonder, like, I mean, I am here, I'm sitting talking about it, but why more people aren't talking about it? Now, people, they'll talk about it when it happens. Like, did you hear what happened? And you know, um, they'll talk about the sensationalism of it. So people will do that, but it seems like after a while, it kind of fades away, and then we no longer discuss it. That I think is something that we need to change. We need to start talking about it and trying to find solutions to the problem. Try to curb some of the violence. Why is it happening? What are the conflicts? And maybe we can come up to a resolution. I know some of the crime has to do with young people, but not all the time is it young people. One of my thoughts is that as far as adults, Now, we've had a lot of times where adults had fights and they recorded it and stuff like that. And when kids see that, they're definitely gonna try to up us one. I see a lot of times where people had fights years ago, like after the club or whatever, and people start recording it and things like that. Then our kids picked it up. They got their cell phones. They started recording fights and stuff like that. People getting jumped. But that type of behavior kind of started with us as adults because we're the ones who had the phones. So it kind of started with us as adults, and that's something they pick up. Anything that we do as adults, kids are going to try to pick up and try to do it a little bit better. So I think this is a continuation, so to speak, of some of the stuff that we used to do, and they're picking it up. A lot of these kids don't see the love that we have for each other, if it's even there. I'm not even sure that love is really there between us. I talk a lot about on my page as far as, not getting support. Nobody comes on my page and says, I mean, some people do, but not like a lot of people come on my page and say, yo, keep doing your thing, keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? You got this. And I have some, I'm not going to say, but I have 5,000 friends. And if I only have like 5 or 6 people saying that, like what of all the other 4,800 friends, what are, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't have that unity, so to speak. And guys, our unity is way less than what females have. At least they have that togetherness. We don't have that. We don't have that stick togetherness. Like somebody dissing somebody on Facebook and a guy come on like, yo, what you doing? Why you doing that to him? Like, nah, he a man, whatever. They may join in. If a female dissing a dude on Facebook, the other dudes may join in instead of being like, yo, leave him alone. Like that's that unity. Because females, in most cases, females are not gonna let you just go in on another female without saying something. Okay, I had enough, get off her or whatever like that. But guys, we don't have that unity. We'll jump in with the females. We don't stick together. And I think that's so true with like the kids and stuff like that. We don't. I seen one guy yesterday, older gentleman, checking a kid because a kid must have said something to him or disrespected him or something like that. He was like checking the kid. Like we don't have that anymore. And to be honest with you, I understand some of these kids will cuss you out and pull a gun out on you or beat you up, try to knock you out, anything, but we just don't. It's gotten to a point where it's really gotten bad. It really has gotten bad. You don't know how to react to a kid in a certain situation. They say they might pull out a gun and end your life in a split second because you try to correct them when they felt like maybe I was in the right or because they never been told anything else. We live in a really tough time right now. We're living in a really tough time right now. I think it has gone way beyond to where it can be easily reeled back in. It's a lot of tension. It's a lot of drama unaddressed. People are fighting people to where they're just trying to do whatever to them and putting it, recording it. It's all recorded nowadays. There's just the sheer sensationalism of it. Last year, there were females a little bit younger than me was like recording fights. If we doing it, yeah, the kids are gonna do it because we did it. We made it seem like it was okay. There's gonna be a lot of stuff we're gonna have to deal with just on the basis of what we did and what we're not doing right now. Is being a strictly stern parent to some of these kids, which a lot of people are trying to be friends with the kids. That's not going to work out. It's not going to sustain a long period of time trying to be kids with a friend, because if you're their friend and then you tell them something that they don't want to hear, then if you're their friend, you can disown a friend. You're not my friend no more. But if it's a parent, you can't disown a parent. You can't say you're not my parent no more. You're not my mom no more. You're not my dad no more. Nah, that don't work. We need to realize our role and play our roles. Having kids talking back to you, you think it's funny. Having kids cuss and stuff like that, you think it's funny. But when they cuss somebody else out, that's no longer funny anymore. They cuss the teacher out, stressing the teacher out, then that's no longer funny. And you set that up. You, as parents at home, you set that type of behavior up. So you got to think about it. We got to think about the things that we do nowadays and how we can improve on things and make things better. I say this all the time. Guys need to get more involved in these kids' life, even if it's donating some money or something. We don't guys don't even want to donate money to causes anymore. If you're not willing to do it, help or donate for somebody else to do it. That would mean so much. But we're just not on that anymore. We're not on that level. We stay out the way. Staying out the way is not going to mean that you're safe. They're going to come for you. They're going to honestly come for you. That's one thing I think about old the guys that are in these cliques. I don't know if they call them gangs anymore. These cliques. And I don't care if you are the toughest one on the block. That's the whole thing. If giving them street cred, I think knocked the hardest dude on the block off. So if you was the hardest dude growing up, that don't mean nothing to the younger generation. Nothing. They're gonna test it every single time. You old, I'm young, I'm new in the game. What was that movie? Cash and Fool. I can't think of it now. It was just on the tip of my tongue. Paid in cash or something. And they was all getting cash or whatever like that. Like they had to take the elders out. The people that were older, they had to take them out. Paid in full. A movie like that. They had to take the people before them had to be taken out for the younger generation can come in. So they looking at you. If you the hardest dude in your time, if I take him out, then I got rank. Because a bullet, something like that, it don't matter how hard you are. A bullet is something that's gonna knock you down to size. We're not fighting anymore. It was different when we was fighting. You know, you younger now. You're not gonna try to go beat up no bigger dude or older dude because you using your fist. But nowadays it ain't about using a fist. It's about using a gun. And a gun don't matter how big, how bold, how tough you used to be, you can get knocked down to size. Period. So these are some things to think about, y'all. We finna go into this whole summer, and I don't think things are gonna get better. I think things are gonna get worse. Start talking to these kids now. Yeah, and if you're not willing to talk to the kids, fine. Talk to your own kids. Have that conversation with them on how they should act on certain situations. You don't always have to fight. You can walk away. Walking away is fine. Being a punk for the day is fine because you're gonna live for tomorrow, and then you can build your strength back up. You can get in the gym. But if you ain't here because you want to be a tough guy today and not walk away from situation, you ain't finna do none of that stuff. It's over. It's a rap. So make sure you tell your kids that um, make sure that they in church so they can learn how to respect people. That's big. We got to stop leaving the church out because the church every single Sunday has a positive message. You may not have told your kids a positive message this week because you was busy. You had to work 2 or 3 jobs, but they go to church and 9 times out of 10, something positive, maybe something that relates to their life. So those are the things we got to keep in mind. We got a war ahead of us, y'all. We got a war ahead of us with our kids, and it's not getting easier. Do what you can do, and even if you're like, "Oh, I'm cool," think about your kids or their kids, what they're gonna have to go through because they not cool. They may be in the streets because you made it out the streets. You got a big house. You a doctor now, a lawyer. Guess what? You got kids, and your kids gotta go right back in the streets with those thugs, those haters, kids. Yeah, I got a couple of people that I used to go to school with. I see now, and it's like, yeah, your kids will be the same way because you was me. They ain't teaching them no different. So just keep that in mind, y'all. But with that said, we'll get out of here. Y'all can probably see I'm getting a little tired. But I just had to come on and talk to y'all about this, y'all. We got a hard summer coming along, and I just want everybody to be blessed. I'm gonna pray for y'all, and just hopefully we make it through, y'all, together. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. If you're on Facebook, make sure you're liking and sharing. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're sharing my channel. Become a subscriber, y'all. We need more subscribers. And if you're on Twitter, make sure you get it with me too. We're on TikTok as well. So you have to do. Once again, my name is Johnny, and this is the Johnny Show. I'm out.